Okay. So now we are going to discuss about the kind of a what do you mean to say uh, roles. Okay, what are the roles we have? Okay, so here the roles are two kind of a roles, like server level and database level. So what are those? As I mentioned, if you want to proper DPA, if you want to maintain the secure data, if you want to provide the use customer data as a secure manner and secure access, we need to understand these roles. So based upon the roles, we have a kind of like a, if I provide this role, what kind of access the user will get, and what kind of access, what kind of activity they can able to do. So we need to understand. So here the Microsoft by default they given the some certain packages kind of like a built-in permissions in the server level and as well as the database level. So uh, if the persons want to do some certain kind of permissions, so no need to go for individually granting the permissions. If you go for that particular role, okay, that role, if you provided, the user will get that permissions. So here the roles are two kinds of roles. One is server level, another one is database level. So if you provide the role in the server level, you can be able to do the entire instance level. Why? Because that is a server level. If you go for the database level, you can able to do in the that particular database level. So that is the reason Microsoft divided the permissions in the two kind of the roles. One is server level, another one is database level. So server level roles we can see under SQL Server security. If you go to the SQL Server, then go to the security, then go under logins, we have to go to the server level roles. So in the 2022, we can see some other roles, server level, but majorly like 2014, 2012, 28, 2016 and 17, majorly we can see 9 roles. As I mentioned, we should not tell the number, but now I'm telling the numbers. But if you interview ask, don't tell the numbers, you have to give the role names. So in the 2022, we can see more roles, but those are not, we are not going to discuss. We are going to discuss only few things. If you see as means it's a temporary. If you're not seeing any S, that's also permanent. So generally, like if you remember while discussing the temp TP, the temporary objects will create under the as. So those are like a kind of as. So I need to explore those server level roles. But if you ask interview what are the database level roles, you have to give the roles kind of like a sysadmin, setup admin, server admin, security admin, process admin, disk admin, DB creator, bulk admin. Here public is a role, but it don't have any special kind of permissions. But here, if you have public access, the user can able to log into the server. So it's kind of like a viewing permission. So we have to give the while explanation, we have to give a public role. So the public role doesn't have any special kind of permissions, but it's a role, a kind of a role. So to remember that what we have, how many yes we have? Yes, 3, 4 yes. So yes to the power of 4, then 2 db square DB square, DB square, P square, then B. So what we can remember this like a we have a while interviewing if you forgot giving the answers. So yes, for starting with yes, we have four kind of server level roles: sysadmin, setup admin, server admin, security admin. Then for starting with D, we have a two roles. One is DB creator, another one is disk admin. And we have a starting with P, we have a two roles. One is process admin, another one is public. And we have one more P. Starting with V, we have a bulk admin. In the real scenario, generally, what are the permissions we are going to use? Sysadmin, setup admin, server admin, process admin, DB creator. So bulk admin, generally we never use. If someone asks, we can provide. And this admin also we never used. Security admin also we never gave. But if someone asks, then we need to understand. If you provide the security admin, what will happen? If you give the sysadmin, what will happen? If you give the setup admin, what will happen? So that is the reason we need to understand this theoretically, and you need to understand if you provide the permission to the user, what will happen. They can able to delete the data, they can able to modify the data, they can able to do something, they can able to kill or terminate the session, they can able to restart the SQL server. So that we need to understand like what will happen in the general scenario if you get the project. So to fulfill the requirement, what they will ask, I need DB creator. Can you provide? I need sysadmin. So generally the people will ask, can you give me the sysadmin? Because they want to perform certain activities. But they doesn't know what will happen if you do permission, because they don't know, right? They simply delete, they simply modify, they will do other operations. So we need to understand, we need to provide the access, what will happen. So now we are going to discuss this all scenario. Okay. Then we'll go for one by one. Server level runs. Yeah. So sysadmin. So sysadmin means he has the full control and everything on the SQL server. What is the full control? What is the full control means? He can able to create the database. Okay. He can able to delete the database. He can able to create the logins. He can delete the logins. He can modify the logins. He can able to create the server level roles. Like we can create user defined server level roles. So you can create server level roles. You can able to create the credentials. So you can do the entire server level configuration settings. Okay, you can able to create the jobs. You can able to modify the jobs. You can able to restart the SQL server. You can able to create the availabilities. You can able to run the profiler. You can able to run the external events. You can able to create the some other diagrams. You can do everything. Like you can able to modify the server level configurations. You can able to modify the settings, like you can able to modify the memory values. You can able to modify the database settings. You can able to change the security level. If you can able to the authentication level also, you can able to change. So that means you can able to do everything. He has full control. So that is the reason if someone asks, can I get the sysadmin? So we need to ask, and we need to ask business justification. Why we required sysadmin? What kind of activities you are going to perform? And we need to ask, once we get the business justification, then as a database, we need to find out to eliminate, not to give the sysadmin you have to find alternate methods, what kind of permissions would fulfill to complete his activities. Why? Because we have different kind of roles, right, and different kind of permissions. You need only able to create the database. Why you need to provide entire permission? We can create only DB creator. You can able to modify the data in the one database. Why we need to give other database permissions? Right. So we need to understand the requirement. We need to provide. So once we complete the topic, we can understand the other areas. Then we can understand if we give the permission, what will happen, what are the relevant required permission to fulfill the permissions. So this is the one kind of server level roles. Sysadmin is the one kind of server level role. This is the highest level server level role in the SQL Server. So let me create a one login. So as I mentioned, I'm not going to create the Windows account or Windows login. Why? Because my computer has a work group missions. This computer cannot communicate to the other computer. This is the work group and individual mission. So I'm going to create the one login. Right click, new login. So the login is the server level entry, server level principal. I'm selecting the SQL Server. So I'm giving the username like a Adi one, and I'm giving the password. Okay. So while creating the SQL Server authentication user, we need to make sure this is enforced password policy. What is enforced password means? We have some password policy. The user password one special character and it has to that 12 characters and as well as the password should not have the username words like I should not give the Adi and I should not at least I have to use one special character. I have to give one capital letter and the password length should be 12 characters. That is called like a enforced password policy. So one more thing is like enforce password expiration. That means after 90 days, the password will expire automatically. And one more thing is if you click user must password change the next login. If you click this one, what will happen? When you turn to the login, it will ask to change the password. Now we can see it. Okay. So now I can go for here. If I go here, if I select it, it will go here. In the real time, we are not going to select below two options. But why? Because if we select this option, the user can able to manage the password itself. So sometimes you cannot give the proper method. If you forgot this option, if you enable this option, the user must have to follow the our password policy. So enforce password policy, I'm giving admin 143 $9 Adi. I need to note down other I forgot. Then today is September, right? Yes, September. Okay. These are the SQL users. In the previous discussion, we discussed right. The SQL users will create under the SQL Server. The password will manage under the SQL Server. Okay. So I'm going to give the server level roles sysadmin. Click OK. So I created the one user. Let me try to connect the software. Let me try to connect the database engine. Let me try to connect the SQL Server instance which I created the user. Right now, I connected my local account. While installing the SQL Server, I give this account, right, the current user. This is the local account. By default, it will get the sysadmin. So I'm trying to connect the user which I created. So this is the server name. Then select the authentication, SQL Server. Then give the username, Adi1. Give the password here. Then go for connect. Why? I have to username Adi1. Yeah. So I connected the user Adi1 with sysadmin. So if you come here, I want to create a login. I can able to create a login. Oh, oh sorry. So I can able to log in. I can provide any permission as well. I can able to log in. So here I can able to delete the login as well. I can able to delete the login as well. So here and oh, where I deleted. Where I created here. I must have created the login here. So let me delete here login. You can able to delete the login as well, and you can able to delete the database as well. You can able to create the database. So and you can able to modify the server level settings. If you go here memory, you can change it to. You can able to change the server level settings. So you can do everything. You can able to create the jobs as well. Okay, that is a sysadmin. So one more. Yeah, server admin. The server admin means if we give it the server admin, what it will do, you can only do the server level settings. You cannot able to create the database. You cannot able to modify the data, and you cannot able to create the database. You cannot able to terminate the data as well. Only what you can do, you can able to change the server level settings. The server level settings means like if you go for here properties. Let me disconnect here. Right click properties. So you can able to modify all the settings. So in the last week class we discussed, right, how can we get the server level parameters? If you go for here sp underscore configure, these are the server level parameters. You can able to modify the server level parameters. If you want to do those level settings, we need to provide which permission? Server admin. So let me create one account. So let me create one account and I will provide the server admin permissions. Go here, go for security, then go for new login. I'm giving the username Adi server admin. I'm giving the password, same password. But in the real time, don't give the password for all the users. Same password. You have to give different passwords, or maybe you can go for Google and check for password creation and take that password policy. It will ask, do you need 12 characters? Do you need some other password policy? If I go here, password creation, strong password creation. Use the Google and uh, try to copy the password. It will ask, do you need 16th length? Do you need this option? Okay. Follow this password creation and generate the password. Use those passwords so that the password will be secure. And make sure we have to save the password in the your repository, your documents. Why? Because sometimes they will forget the password. Maybe some other, if you want any troubleshoot purpose, we need the password. Otherwise, we need to reset. If we reset the password, what will happen? The password knowingly, unknowingly updated in the several reports. So if you reset the password here, those reports it will won't work. Why? Because while connecting the server, the first thing is it will check authentication. Username is correct, but password is wrong. The reports will fail. I'm giving here. Then go for server level role. I'm giving only server admin. Click connect. You cancel this. Let me log in with Adi server admin. Connect. The real time, most of the scenario, you people used to connect with Windows account. Okay. Why? Because as a we are a DBA, our account has a Windows account in the SQL Server by default while installing the SQL Server. SQL Server, Adi server, admin, give the password. Okay, I connected. So if you see, if you don't have full control, here we cannot see the SQL Server agent. Okay, this is the one method to find out if you doesn't have sysadmin. But if you provide the MSDB level permission, we can see the agent. So by default, by looking at that, 90% we can confirm. If you log into the server, if you don't see the SQL Server agent, that person doesn't have sysadmin. So what we can do? We can try to delete the database. So I logged in as a Adi server admin. Delete. Let me going for. Yeah, come on. Drop database name. Okay. The user permission cannot drop the energy because doesn't have the permissions. So he cannot able to delete the database. The same thing, he cannot able to create the logins, and he cannot able to do other what you meant to say availability configurations. But what he will do? Go to here, right click, properties. He can able to change the configuration level. So what I'm going to do, memory, I will give 10 GB. Script. Cancel this. We can click direct OK. Just I'm giving the always go for this prepare method. SB configure, give the parameter and the value, then go for reconfigure with override. See, is able to change rate. So like that, you can able to change all the server level configurations. If you give the server admin, you can able to database settings, you can change the connection, you can change the security, Windows to SQL to, mixer to Windows mode, mixer to SQL, you can able to change. You can able to some other modification in the server level. That is the purpose of server admin. In the real time, no one will ask. But if they ask, we need to ask what is the business justification. So other three is security admin. So security admin. So security admin. Another one is he can able to create the logins. He can able to change the password. That's it. He cannot able to delete the database. He cannot able to modify the data, and he cannot able to delete the law. He cannot able to delete the database. He cannot able to create the databases, and he cannot modify the data as well. Security means he can able to create the logins. He can able to change the password. He can able to give the permissions as well. So let me disconnect here. Okay. So I'm going to create one more login with security admin. So what are the logins? Are I'm creating server level. Why I'm creating logins? I did discussion about the roles. Okay. Without login, you cannot perform any activities, right? If you want to perform any activities, that we required login. Once we enter the login, then only we can able to perform the activities. So those activities, those permissions, we have two levels, as I mentioned, server level and database level. Server level, we have by default, Microsoft given some kind of a roles. In that roles, they predefine some permissions. So that is the reason I'm creating the logins and providing the roles. Create a new login. Create login. Adi. SU. Adi. SU. Secure. Go for same password. Same password. Uncheck it. Go for server level roles. Go for security admin. Click OK. I created the Adi secure. CSCC. Yeah. Connect. Adi SCUR password. Connect. So I connected as the user which is having security permissions. So before performing the actual role, what we can do? We can try to delete the database. If you want, click OK. Or else go for script out. The how to delete the command, drop database name. You got the error, right? You cannot able to drop the database. You don't have permissions. Okay. And one more thing is like try to create the database. What is the syntax? Create database name. That's it. Create database. Under lab database under Adi secure user. See? Create database permission denied on the master database. Because while creating the database, it has to go for master. And this user doesn't have any permission. So that means you cannot able to drop the database, you cannot able to create the database and try to change the settings. Go for properties, then go for memory, change the values to 5 GB. Script out. Look here. So I logged in with a lab instance with Adi secure user. Just run it. See, the user doesn't have permission to perform this activity. So this user cannot perform these activities. What he will do? He will do only create the login, and he can able to assign the logins, and he can able to change the password as well. So here create new login. Adi, okay. Give the password. Give the here. Give here. Then here server roles you can able to, let me check it. I never tested, but you can able to assign the roles. We'll see. DB creator. I think you can able to create the logins, but not the permissions. But we'll see. Go for security. The first is I'm running the create login. Later I'm giving the permission. We'll see. You can able to create the login. So that's good. Let me see. You can able to perform the role or not. I don't think it will fail. See, you cannot able to assign the roles. You can able to create the login. Okay. You cannot perform any activities. And other thing is like you can able to change the password which he created, not others passwords. You can able to change the user passwords which he created. Adi 123. If you go here, security, logins, Adi 123. You have give the password. Please. Let me try to connect that user. Adi 123. Give the password. Wait. Adi 1, there is no 123. Adi 2. Yeah. So what are the user he created? He can able to log in. That's it. He cannot perform any activities. He can able to see the data. That's it. So now what we going to do? You can able to this one. If you go here, let me change the password. Then I give one. Okay. You can able to change the password. We'll see. Other users he able to reset or not. So he created only Adi 2, 3. Adi 1 he did not create. Let me try to Adi server. So you can able to change the other previous users password as well. So if you give the security admin, you can able to create the users and you can able to change the passwords what are he created and as well as previous users as well. That is the purpose of the security admin. So other thing is like DB creator. Let me go for process admin. What exactly the process admin will do? The process admin what exactly will do means like yeah. So the process admin will perform the terminate the session. Okay, terminate the sessions which are running under the SQL Server. Suppose right now I'm running the one query under, don't confuse here, SQL instance lab. I connected as a admin. So let me see what are the connections are running. Select star from switch dot this process spelling PR PR. Let me execute. So here from 1 to 50 SPID. SPID what is SPID? I forgot the abbreviation SPID. From 1 to 50 session IDs. Though 1 to 50 are belongs to system session IDs. From the 51 onwards, user session IDs. Okay. So here 53 is running. Suppose I want to terminate 53. So I logged in as a security admin. This user can able to create the login and modify the username and password. So I want to terminate the 53. So here we got some performance issue. The query is running longer time, or maybe we got some blocking or locking. I want to terminate the particular session. So the login having security admin. You want to kill the session. If you try, you will get the error. So you don't have permissions. So if you want to terminate the permission, which permission we have to provide the user so that that person can able to terminate the sessions from the SQL server. So right now I logged in as a Adi secure. There is a secure admin. The secure admin cannot kill the permission, cannot terminate the session, and setup admin cannot uh, server admin cannot terminate the session. Anyway, sysadmin, he can do everything. So server admin, secure admin cannot terminate. Okay, setup part also he cannot terminate the kill as well. Okay. So if you want to terminate, what we can do? So let me disconnect here. Go for security. Create a login. I'm creating like a monitor. Monitor. Giving the same password. Yeah, password. Which one process? Script. We can understand. Create login log with password, giving the permissions. I created the login with the process admin. Let me try to log in with that account. Here the password. Connect. So previously we tried to terminate the connection using Adi security. So now what we can do? The same session we can try to terminate using that monitor which is having process admin. Only one user can be killed. Only user process. Which account I logged in? Monitor. Only user process can be process. Only which account which one I give? What's it like given? Only user process can. Oh, 53 is not a user process. Only user process. So 53 is not a user process. Right? Let me go here. This is background process. Let me go for 80. See, you can able to terminate the session, right? So if you want to terminate any process, that user must have process server level roles. That is a process server level roles. So one more is setup admin. What is the setup admin? Setup admin means like he can able to create the linked servers. Okay. And he can able to remove the linked servers. So here we can explain the latter topics linked server. That is kind of a special topic. The linked means like, let me give small example. So this is the named instance. This is the default instance. I want to create a link between named and default instance. Okay. And I want to run the cross functionalities. Okay. So I want to create a link between named and default instance. I want to run some queries from one database to another database. That scenario, what permission we need required. So the name called like a setup. Setup means you can able to set the linked, like one server to another server, you can able to create the communication. So for that, we required some login, some other permissions. But before that, what are the permissions he required? So the person having setup admin permission, he can able to create the linked servers from one server to another server. Those, if you go here, if we go for security, no, server objects, where it is server objects? Server objects, if we go for linked servers. So here linked servers, in the linked servers, what will have? We have to provide some, go for linked server, it will ask which server I want to create a link from this mission to which mission. I have to create a link. Here I have to provide the server name and I have to provide the password, then I have to create. Then only it will go and communicate. Maybe next week I will explain this special topic because it required some other understanding. Okay. Once we completed the database level role, then we can get the complete picture to create the linked server to run the linked server. But you need to understand now what permissions you need to create the linked servers. If you want to create the linked servers, the user must have the server level roles as a setup admin. So DB creator, disk admin, no need to discuss because we never use. Still now I did not use as well. Okay. So disk admin means we can tell manage disk, and you can tell directly. Still so far we never give this permission. We never used as well. So DB creator, if you give the DB creator, you can able to create the database. You can able to restore the database as well. So let me create a login. Let me disconnect here. Go for login. Go for new login. I will create a login like a DB create. Then I give the password. No password is not prepared. I'm giving the server level roles. DB creator. Okay. I'm logging into that particular login. Go for DB, create password. Wait, password is wrong. Account. Maybe username given wrong. DB CRA T. DB CRA. DB CRAT. Correct only. Let me reset password. DB CRAT. Reset the password. Connect. DB CRAT. Password is optional. Wait. Oh, wait. Which account I'm trying to connect? Lab. Here, which one I'm trying to connect? See, I'm trying to connect the default instance. How to connect here? Because I create the login in the lab instance, not for the default. That is the reason we are getting login failure. DB CREAD password. See, previously I'm getting the login failure. Why? Because I'm trying to connect the default instance, not for the named instance. Here, go on here, right click, create a new database. Like app DB. With this. See, database created. So generally, this permission will give the application team. Uh, Sometimes what will happen, the database will creating from the application side. Okay, the application side, what they will do, they will give the username and password. While running the application, the database will automatically create. So what they will ask, they will ask sysadmin. So here, no need to provide sysadmin. Just give the DB create permission, so that application able to communicate the SQL server and it able to create the database. So if they ask sysadmin, if you don't know the permission to create the database, if you give the sysadmin, what will happen? He can able to perform the other activities. He has the full control as well. So that is the reason. If you want to create the database, just give the DB creator permission. That's it. So one more is bulk admin. This bulk admin also like just give the theoretically, practically we never performed and we never give the permission to as well. What will happen if the person want to go for like a bulk inserts, bulk delete? That time the person must have bulk admin permission on the server level. Okay, so you can give the permissions and bulk admin like practically like I'm not going to show because the bulk admin like kind of bulk inserts and bulk delete will perform from the application team. Okay, so but you need to understand, if someone asks, I'm not able to do bulk inserts, I'm not able to do bulk delete, so then we need to give this permission, but we need to make sure while giving the permission, we have to understand if you give the bulk admin, you can able to run thousands records at a time. If you run the thousands records inserts, what will happen? The log file will full, right? So we need to understand and provide the permissions accordingly. So now today, let me stop the recording. Maybe tomorrow I can cover database level. Now we can go for recap for the server level roles. Okay. Tomorrow morning I will cover database level roles. But you people have to go and test practically and try to go for cross functionalities. If I give the permission, what will happen? So we are doing as a lab, right? So you can do whatever you want. You can delete the database, you can create the database, you can terminate the session in your lab environment. But whoever is working, don't do practically in your live environment. Okay. This is go for only your lab environment. Some people are working there, other technologies, right? Don't do anything. You can go on only lab practical. Let me stop here and we can discuss. Come on.